What she said to me on the call, after looking at the data, I know that we're doing well. And I said, why is that? She goes, we're converting at leads to closed at 12%. The standard at Orange Theory was 15%.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merritt.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast, everybody. Today, we are going to cover a topic that always seems super confusing for people, but we're going to tackle it and get you squared away, hopefully. And if you don't understand this concept, guys, if you don't understand this, please do not run paid ads because you will always be frustrated. You will always say they don't work. But the real problem, in all honesty, is you. Because you're not thinking about how the consumer behaves and honestly how you behave when it comes to paid marketing. So let's start here. Today we're going to talk about the halo effect. When you see an ad on your social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, do you click on the ad and purchase day one? Do you book day one? Do you even click on the ad? I would venture to say 80% of people listening to this actually click on the profile or visit the website of that service or business. You actually don't go through the direct funnel of it. Why? The reason is because you want to gain more knowledge before giving your information away, because you don't want to be bombarded with text messages, emails, and so on and so forth. So therefore, if you behave that way, why do you think any different than your leads are going to behave that way? And I hate to say this, but a lot of times that people take the direct path and the easiest path are going to be the worst leads. What does that mean? That means that people that come directly from Facebook in through Facebook to your funnel are going to be the less leads or the worst leads and convert on the lowest percentage. Therefore, people that do take the extra steps, like yourself, that go to the website, that visit the social media, make sure it aligns with what you're looking for, and then go to the website and opt in, are going to be the best leads. And I think we all can agree there. But why on earth do you think that your ads did not attribute to that person? If you are a gym owner listening to this, if you are only going to count your Facebook leads and nothing else, it's never going to work. I say this, and I've used this analogy a lot before. Imagine Coca-Cola running a Super Bowl commercial. They don't have representatives standing at every cash register asking if they saw the commercial the day before. All they look at is, did sales increase? Great, it increased. That is due to marketing. So how do you know if the halo effect works? It's actually really simple. You wonder why all of a sudden you're getting more leads from Google, you're getting more walk-ins, referrals are signing up. People will tell you, and let me preface this, people will tell you, I just Googled you. I just drove by the gym. The truth is, and let me say this very, very bluntly, people do not care about your marketing dollars. They don't care how much you're spending. They forget that the first thing they saw was an ad, or it reminded them of an ad, or they reminded you of that your business is there. And then when they drove by it, they don't even realize, oh, I saw that ad. So they're going to tell you that. People don't say that. The worst question you can ask as a business owner, how did you hear about us? Because 90% of people aren't going to tell you what the actual truth is to help you give the data. Here's how to get the data. You look at your prior 6 months of signups. How many did I sign up? Let's say it's 4. The next 6 months of signups, you're averaging 8. You increased 100% of signups. So it took you 6 months to do when in the next 3 months you did what you did in 6 months because you're doubling your signups. How in the world can you say that paid marketing isn't growing your business? If you change nothing else changed other than running paid ads. The paid ads attributed to the 4 extra. Now, I'm not here to say that 8 of them are all from paid ads. What I'm here to say is that there's a net 4. So the halo effect is the compounding invisible lift that happens across your entire business when you run effective paid ads. It increases awareness. People are seeing it more often. It increases trust because you're running paid ads. They don't see your stuff if they don't run it. Frequency, meaning how many times they see it. The more times they see it, and then the more times they're going to think about it. And then the demand. It seems like, hey, oh, this gym is busy. Oh, this place is running, and when I say offer, not a discount, but they're running certain thing that I need to be a part of. So you need to track how many more website visits am I getting? People are going to start searching. They're not going to search for gym near me. They're going to search your name. How did they just come up with your name? Oh, now I'm going to search District H. How did they find District H? Well, it was probably an ad. Walk-ins are going to increase. Old leads. I was just working with a business that in the last 2 days, they got 2 leads. I'm like, oh, that's weird. One didn't go through the funnel. 5 months ago, the lady opted in. Her problem didn't go away. And then old members are going to come back. Why? Because they're going to look at your ad and remember, man, I used to be really good in shape when I used to do X at whatever X gym. And then they're going to might reach out to you and be like, hey, I'm ready to come back. It's not just, oh, epiphany that all of a sudden they just want to come back. It is paid marketing is getting in front of them so that they can make a buying decision quicker. So your ads are just like a 24/7 billboard that are up all the time. Even if they never click on their ads, they're going to be more familiar with you than any of your competitors because you're in front of them more often. So that familiarity of being in front of them builds trust because they keep seeing your stuff over and over and over again. It's like, think of massage tools like Chirp and whatever, Hypervolt or whatever they are. You're seeing that stuff more often. So when you go see the knockoff brand that's on Amazon that's a lot cheaper, you're even hesitant to spend 25% of the price, even though it's that much better because the trust that's built up with Chirp and Hypervolt and all of those, because those are the trusted brands. You haven't seen the knockoff ones before. Even though they might perform just as well, you don't trust that brand and you're willing to spend $150 more. So the big thing, and this just happened recently with the gym that used to be signing up 9 per month. They're like, yeah, I'm not seeing a ton of leads. But when they looked at their signups, it was 22 in November. November during the holidays of Thanksgiving, one of the slower months for gyms. How can there, essentially that means that there's, 9, there's another 13 that are due to marketing increase. It does not matter where the leads come from. Please do not book a call with us. Please do not become a client. Please stop listening to this if you don't understand this concept. And I say that harshly, but the truth is you will never be satisfied or believe that marketing is working if you understand this concept. And it is really frustrating as an organization that we see signups grow. Here's what we're for. We're here to increase your signups. That is the only thing. What we say is, here's the last 6 months of data. If you get an average gym signs up 3 to 4. We can take you 8 to 12. Do you agree that 8 to 12, no matter where they came from, is a win? If the next month you start talking about how Susie was a referral and things like that, that does not matter. You did not all of a sudden only get 4 and now you're at 8 and then keep hitting those numbers. That is because leads are coming in and your name and your brand is getting out there in front of everyone. The worst thing, and then we see this all the time, people think that, oh, it's a slow month, so they turn off their ads. What happens the next month? You forget what it was like not running paid ads, and you go back to those 3 to 4. I just looked at a gym over the course of the 2 months. They got 11 leads for 2 signups after they stopped running paid ads. When they were working with us, they were getting 4 to 6, 300% increase than what they did. Why would you stop? You have to, the only thing to look at, to be clear, we have a client that spends $6,000 per month on ads. All he's looking is signups. He made 2 sales in one day. His LTV is $15,000. That's 30 grand in 2 signups. It paid for all of his marketing he's done over the last 5 months. So you guys have to start thinking about, if I'm going to run paid ads, I have to know my numbers. And then I can't, these other mentor company and these other people, they just simply don't know what they're talking about. Because when you stop thinking about human behavior, it, none of it else makes sense. If the way that you react to paid marketing, and you think that you're your client's avatar, like you would be a great avatar for your own gym, and you think that the person coming in does anything different, you've missed the mark and you should not run paid ads. But here's the thing. Was on another call with another gym, owns a High Rocks gym now. And the general manager used to be an OTF, Orange Theory manager. What she said to me on the call, after looking at the data, I know that we're doing well. And I said, why is that? She goes, we're converting at leads to closed at 12%. The standard at Orange Theory was 15%. She did not talk once about where the leads came from. She gave me the total number of leads and total number of signups. If you guys wonder why boutique gyms are getting crushed, is because you're getting fed wrong information by wrong companies that actually aren't data driven. So if Orange Theory knows 15% of leads to close is the standard, that is why they open with 400 members, because they know exactly the amount of money that they need to spend. She never once said, well, I need X amount of leads from Facebook, X from here, X from here. She goes, I closed at 13%. We're going to change X, Y, and Z this month, and hopefully you get to 15%. The reason that franchises are crushing smaller gyms is because they're actually getting business advice that actually moves the gym forward. And then you have the standards to know it's 15% close rate, 50% show rate. And now I can look at the data that truly matters, that the best gyms in the world do. And then I can make decisions on how to grow my business. So I said all of that, and I truly mean it, guys. There is so much misinformation out there on, oh, you should close it, 80% lead to close. And maybe if you're doing organic, like you're not even going to close at 80%, because if your close rate is 80%, there's another 20%. So that's a 60%, lead to close, if that, right? And that's the reason those numbers just don't work anymore, and they're numbers back in 2013 that they're probably pulling from, is because you don't have as much competition. There's not as many Orange Theories back in the day, F45, X4, Metabolic, all of those type of gyms. Why do you think that franchises require gyms to spend $3,000 to $7,000 a month in paid marketing before they open, and ongoing minimum of $2,000 to $4,000 per month if they did not think paid marketing was working? The most naive thing and a piece of advice I hear from boutique gym owners is, I don't need paid marketing. If you knew this is the most successful gyms and the way that they grow, why would you not take the information and do the same thing? That's like saying, I'm really into baseball. That's like saying, I know what the best baseball players in the world do. Well, that's actually not great advice. I'm going to do something different. There is absolutely no different in that analogy. And if you think about it in any terms of sports, what do the most successful people do? How do I emulate it to do that? For some reason in the fitness industry, gyms are so taboo to paid marketing, but they don't realize the gyms that are crushing them and putting them out of business are doing that to grow. And they've realized, because they have the business IQ, and we're so focused, a lot of boutiques, I'm not saying all, and I'm not saying coaching is not important, but coaching will not grow your gym. You can't just focus on churn, and you have to focus on growth as well. Money is the lifeblood of your business, and new clients is the lifeblood of growing your business. If you do not have a funnel to get people in, and if you're looking to sell your business, you have to show you have a marketing plan and you can have a growth strategy. If you're not growing, you cannot sell your business. And to say that your churn is going to help you grow to sell your business, you're going to end up having a job forever. So when you're looking at paid marketing, what metrics to look at? The only metric that really matters is signups. At the end of the day, if the signups are there, then that's all that matters because you're growing. And then it just becomes, what is the cost per acquisition per signup? And then how fast do I want to go? And I say that with keeping your churn the same. So a direct correlation to paid marketing would be, simply on social media, how many more views am I getting? What's the direct traffic increase across Google? My appointment volume, walk-ins, old leads re-engaging, referral volume. Where's my revenue trending? We got off a call with the gym, thought they weren't doing great, but I was like, you just increased $2,000, and for the past 4 months, you've been on this trajectory downhill, and you just went up $2,000. Yeah, but they came from X. That makes no sense. So for the last 4 months, you've been on this downhill slope, and then all of a sudden a $2,000 increase, right? And then just your membership growth overall. If your revenue is growing and your ads are working, even the lead form does not tell the full story, guys. If you, like I said earlier, do not book a call with us, do not run paid ads if you do not understand this, because it'll just be a relationship that will just be butting heads the whole time, because you'll think one way, we'll think another way. I'll give you another example. We have a gym that does personal training only. They do very, very successful gym, by the way. They do $50,000 in personal training a month, basically. Before they signed up with us, the last 6 months before they signed up, it was one sign up per month, okay, for personal training. And their sign up value is $1,600 that first month. Since doing paid marketing, they're getting 4 to 5 signups. That means they went from $1,600 to basically, $4,800. Wait, that's not my math. $6,400, 4 times 16, in revenue per month. And then his comment was, well, I need 3 Facebook direct ones. And my response was simply, why does that matter? If we can show that for the last 6 months, you went from 1 to now 4 to 5. And he's like, well, yeah, I'm seeing a lot more website now. Of course you are. Because people paying $1,600 a month or looking for personal training are going to do the research on exactly what am I going to be paying for, because they have the money to pay for it. They're not going to be the type of people that just click through something. Yes, they are going to be the worst leads. The people that do the most research are going to take time to sign up. And here's another thing to think about. Not everybody makes a buying decision day one. How many times have you clicked on an ad and said, I'm going to buy it today? That's more expensive other than like $10. Probably it's taking you a lot of time to make a buying decision, unless you're just one of the hyper clickers that just impulse buyers. Mostly anything that I buy probably takes me 2 to 6 weeks before I actually make a purchase, and I go back to Google, search it again, think about it. Am I going to buy it? And then until that pain point becomes so high, then I purchase. Why do you think anything's going to be different for when you run paid ads? It is not. So again, if you are thinking about running paid ads, you have to understand this concept, and it is the most important concept to actually understand before you run paid ads. Because if you're focused on, I call them phantom metrics, CPC, cost per click, frequency, impressions, none of that matters if you're signing people up. Can you improve and here's the thing, if you're only spending $700 to $1,000 or $500 to $1,000 in ads, you're not spending enough to actually even test anything new, because if you turn something off and try something else, then you're risking the whole next month going downhill with ads that don't perform. Until you're spending probably, I would say, $2,500 to $5,000, $6,000 a month, then you can test other things, because you can risk something not working while you have something else that's working. You're not going to, and the reason I say this, imagine you're spending $1,000. So $1,000 is $33 per day. you're like, I want to test something new. You probably need to spend, we'll cut the budget down to $16 on the one that's working. We're going to send 16 on the other one that we're going to launch. That means that half the budget now, if that does not work and produce any leads, you just cut your leads in half over a course of the month without spending more. Okay. Now, I say this because I know people heard just spend more, just spend more. Now, if you're in a super rural area and nobody around, you might be able to get away with it because cost per lead is going to be lower. But this day and age, when there's so much competition, you have to spend more to compete in a marketplace. We have a gym that's with a competitor and that runs small group training. And to be honest, the small group training, they have things dialed in. Their social media looks more professional. And imagine that gym spending $4,000 and this gym spending, $1,000. They're going to see their ad 4 times more, right? For the branded one. And then on top of it, when they go look at it, it's going to be more professionally done. Which one are you going to pick? So yes, you have to be okay with a larger cost per lead unless you're going to elevate all of your messaging across the board. So I hope this made sense for you guys. This is a super important topic for paid marketing, is to understand the halo effect, because it is not just something that marketers say it is. And the reason I can say that is because if you actually just think of the way that you interact yourself listening to this to paid marketing, you will understand that. And if you think that your clients or anybody else is any different than that, you will never succeed in paid marketing. And I do believe to be super successful in any business, you're going to have to do paid marketing. So this is going to be it is a limiting factor in your growth until you actually accept, hey, I'm not going to look where these leads come from. I don't care. All I care is that I'm growing and I'm hitting my numbers. That is a straight attribute to paid marketing is working. Now I either have the choice of spending more and how fast do I want to go. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Save it, send it to a friend that doesn't understand paid marketing or that really needs to understand this concept, or send it to your business partner that you've been wanting to do paid marketing. If you guys have any questions, always reach out, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoy. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's lassoframework.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.